Hey guys, it's Kamilla Lanae, and I thank you so much for clicking this video. So I'm going to say just right now, if you hear some noise in the background, I truly apologize. The office is very hectic today. Now, before you start writing, you want to make sure before you start writing, you have the full idea in your head. You have the full story, the full synopsis. You know, when I say the full story, I don't mean you know the ins and outs of every single scene, detail by detail. I mean, you just know the storyline in general, the full storyline in general. You know the what, when, where, why, all that type of stuff. You know all of that. So you want to know all that before you start writing, because when you start writing, then you're gonna, I mean, ideas can come and flow, but it might make it a little harder if you don't just have that whole idea of the story in your head. You have the whole idea of the story in your head, you should be good. But if you don't, then it's gonna be a little more difficult, but it'll still work out for you. I'm not saying it's not going to work out, but it may be a little harder. I don't know. But for me, I'm telling you guys my tips, my opinion, and that's my opinion. So yeah, make sure you know the general idea of what you're going to be writing about before you start typing or start writing it. Now, some people think this at the last possible minute, but I mean, you don't have to. I mean, you can. It's totally up to you. But I think that it's best to think, where do you want this movie to end up? Where do you want this movie to go? Do you want this movie to be just on DVD? Do you want it to be just in Netflix? Do you want it to be in the movie theaters? Do you want it to be on Hulu, Prime? Where do you want this movie to end up? Where do you want it to go? What do you want to see happen with this movie? Because then you also want to think about it. Okay, like if you just want to do theater or something, you want to put that in your budget. Or if you want to do DVDs, then okay, like you want to just have an idea. But it is best if you think, okay, do I want it to go here? You have a billion and one of what is the word, you have so many different things. Like I can't even get it out. You have so many options. That's the word that my brain couldn't process for whatever reason. But you have so many different options, so you can figure out where you want it now, or you can figure out where you want it later. But most times, like I said, I'm telling you guys my little, process. I think about it ahead of time. I think about it first before I even get into the process of writing or anything. I think about that. Okay, where do I want this movie to go? I think of this storyline. I think of all that before I start writing. I get a bunch of ideas in my head before I start writing. Now, start typing. Once you have the idea together and you have a better understanding on the movie, start typing, and it's okay. Sometimes that first day you might get 3 pages done, and it's like, yay, I got 3 pages done. Or that first day you might get 5 pages done. You might get 10 pages done. You might get 1 page done. But that's just how it is sometimes. So say for example, the first day you get 5 pages done. Then that second day, you get 2 more pages done, so that's 7. And then that third day, it's you take away 2 pages, so now you have 5 pages. That fourth day, you might take away 1 more page. So that's how it is. Sometimes you may add, you may take away, you may take away, you may take away, you may take away, you may add, you may do whatever. And sometimes, some days you may have more pages, some days you may have less pages. Sometimes it may seem like you just keep dropping pages. Sometimes it might just seem like you keep adding pages. It's okay. That's a process. That's understandable. That is perfectly fine. That is, that's just a process. That's cool. So you want to make sure that you're editing it. If you go through a lot of drafts and you're going through it and you're like seeing things you're taking out and you're adding, that's a good thing. That's a good sign, because that means that you're going in there, you're digging deep, you're taking out things that is not necessary, you're adding things that you think is missing. That is good. That is good. That is good. It's not hard. I mean, not hard. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so that is something that that I do. Now, while you're writing, something I do while writing, I try to get an idea of the locations that I'm going to be filming at, because it makes it so much easier if I know, okay, I'm going to be filming in my office. Okay, so the door is right there, the window is right there, the desk is there, blah blah blah, and I can have an idea of every little thing if I'm not going to get a set built. But if I'm using locations that's already built and already put together in just real life locations, it's best to know where you're going to be filming. Go look at those locations and spot it out and plan it before filming. I'm telling you, it will save you so much time later if you look at the locations before you start typing, if that's possible. If not, definitely look over the locations and map out every single thing before filming. But if you can look at the locations before, you know, if you might need to be like, okay, I want to use a coffee shop. It's a coffee shop down the street that I'm very close with. Before I start writing, let me see if it's okay if I use that coffee shop. Something like that. So if you do that, it is best, and it makes it easier dealing with the writing process, and it definitely makes it easier dealing with the filming process. Trust me. And it's better to visualize. It's just easier. Just you know exactly where everything is, and it's just easier while writing because you have everything down. You just know everything. It's easier. Now, see if you have any people in mind to film it. Do you have any people in mind that you think is a great actor, or that you think can play that part the best, or that you think would really do good because they look like they can fit this person or that person, or they sound like this? Look, do you have anybody in your family or friends that you think can act this part out? Because if you can find actors that you already know to play the part and to play those characters, that would probably be easier on you as well. And especially if you know them already. Like, I like to work with some actors that I already had in my movies, because I already know them. I know how they act, I know their attitude, I know their personality, and now I don't have to get to know a new person because I feel like she just fits it or he just fits this character so much. There's no point of doing it. So, and I'm not saying, oh no, I don't want to get to know new people, because I love getting to meet new people. But I'm just saying it's easier when I already know this person or that person is already good and fits the part. And perfect. I don't have to audition anyone for that part now because I have this person for it. So it also makes it a little easier on yourself as well. You want to also figure out the budget for your film. Even though this is a writing process, while writing you have to know your budget. If you're going to go to a convenient coffee shop, or if you're going to film at a big warehouse or wherever you're going to film, you want to make sure that is in your budget, because sometimes that shop might be this an hour and that shop might be way more an hour, and you can't afford it, or that's not in your budget. So make sure you know your budget before you start writing, to get an idea of your budget and get an idea on what you're going to be spending things on in the film. Get that all together while writing, basically before you start writing, but you know, in the process of writing as well. See if you can get some people involved. See if you can get some producers involved. You can get some well-known actors involved. If you can get some other hands in your project, any other connections or somehow. See if you can get some people involved, because why not? It will not hurt. It will just only make your film better. So try to get those connections. Now, while you're writing, you want to make sure you're staying in your budget. You don't want to go get, if your budget is $30,000 for the entire film, and then you're trying to get have explosions every single scene, and you want to have invisible people or whatever, or ghosts or whatever, and it's just like, no, that's not going to work out with your budget. Now, if your budget is like $100,000 and you're like, you know, just keep your ideas in your budget. That's basically what I want to say, long story short. Make sure you read your script over and over and over and over again. Like I said, you will be adding, you will be taking away, adding, taking away, whatever. You want to make sure you are reading your script over and over again to see if you need to add again, if you need to take something out again, or if you need to take something out again that you took out already, but then you added back, or something that you added and you want to take that out now, and then you want to add it back, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just keep reading your script over and over again to make sure you know that it is perfect, because once you get that copy written and once you get it's time to start filming, you know that script is perfect. So you have to make sure that script is perfect as you're writing. Make sure all of your characters are interesting in some type of way. It doesn't matter what type of way, just figure it out. Make sure each character has some type of interesting thing about them. It's just something about them that somebody is going, when they're watching a movie, somebody's going to connect with each of those characters just in some type of way because of something about them. So make your characters special in your movie. Keep writing, never give up. Sometimes you might be writing and you're like, oh my god, I only did 2 pages and it took me like 3 weeks. But sometimes writing a full script that could be 110 to 120 pages, sometimes 100 to 120 pages, can take a year, can take 2 years, can take months. It depends on you, but it also depends on just the ideas as well. It's just sometimes it takes longer to do one script. Sometimes it may take a little shorter time to do one script. I lied to you guys not. I wrote my first movie in 2 months. I did do that. I did. But that's because I was dedicated. I was 100%. I was making sure that this is all I was focusing on. But yeah, that's beside the point. Now, like at the end, of course, once everything is done, make sure you get your script copywritten. Make sure you don't just hand your script to anybody, because that script is very important. That script is worth billions of dollars. So you do not want to just hand that script to anyone. You want to make sure you're handing it to the right people. Then start getting on with the casting process, the filming process, all that good stuff, and just have a great time. Go ahead and film that movie. Get a production company if you don't have somebody. Get somebody to, film it, because you want everything done professionally. You can contact us if you want to. But, yeah, anyways, I thank you guys so much for watching. Please keep coming back for more. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace. Oh, yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.